Hi there, so just a quick video about extended side angle pose and the variations of it and some of the key points that we want to be aware of. So extended side angle pose is, so I'm in a warrior two. I'd often ask you, if you're coming into this posture, to take a bend in your front arm, so in this case left, forearm down, and then I'm going to bring my right arm around alongside my head. So there's a couple of variations of this and a couple of alignments that I want to emphasize. So one of the things is when we're in this warrior two position is the chest is pretty much sideways on, or instead of my chest going straight to the camera, it's maybe slightly off to one side. And when we're in warrior two, or when we're in triangle, or when we're in the extended side angle pose, we want to try and, as much as we can, keep that chest facing sideways on. So one of the things that can happen with that is, again, not that you're doing that, and if your chest isn't sideways, it doesn't mean that you're slacking at all. It will be tightness in other parts of the bodies, that are preventing you from keeping your chest sideways on. So there's ways in which we can modify that. So if you're somebody that maybe takes a shorter stride back in your warrior two, if you bring your forearm down to your thigh, it can, for me, if I do this, it feels a bit awkward, it feels a bit too far away, and I can still bring the arm round, but that's a bit of an awkward position to be in. So if you're ever in that position, forearm to thigh seems a bit too far away, we can take the hand down onto the knee and bring in that right arm round. So the next step up would be the forearm to the thigh. So I'm taking a bit more of a step further back. I'm popping my forearm down. My chest is still off to the side. Let me turn and face the camera. So in my warrior two position, you can see the profile of my upper body here. Forearm down. I want to keep that chest off to the side as I come down. I've got my right arm behind. So when we're bringing the arm round, that's often an occasion when the chest comes out of alignment, if you like. Instead of being sideways on it, it might come down more towards the ground. So when you're bringing your arm round, part of the reason why I say to bring it round the front, you could bring it over the top or you could bring it round underneath, is we want the arm to end up alongside the head, or the fingertips pointing in the same direction as the top of the head. When you're bringing it round, it might be that you reach a point of resistance sooner. So when I bring my round here, I can get it there, but I can feel tightness in the shoulder, and that's obviously what part of the posture is about. So you're bringing your arm round, reaching that point of resistance, and it might be that it's here, and that's fine. We're holding it there, we're riding on that point of resistance, if you like. Sometimes what I notice in class is the arm will come round and it might end up across the face or down here, or in some cases, the chest is coming out of alignment and the chest and the hips are sort of more pointing towards the ground as opposed to off the side. So you're trying to find out where that threshold is for you. So there is a little bit about say for example, if the forearm comes down but you're noticing your chest is starting to come in, it might be that the hand needs to be on the knee and the arm comes round. Or if you're comfortable, forearm down, chest is to the side, and bringing that arm back. So I'm really aware of my chest facing off the side to get the most out of this posture. And again, if you're somebody that deals with all of that just fine, I can come into it, this is no problem at all. So the next step up there would be bringing this left arm down the inside of the left leg. Maybe the fingertips are on the ground and the right arm comes round. So for me, that is just about at the limit of what my body's comfortable with, but still keeping some form in the posture. So often with triangle pose, people come into triangle pose and think the objective is to get the fingertips on the ground, but they lose that upper body alignment. So if I was coming into triangle, sometimes I've got to get my hand down, I'm not really aware of what's going up here with my right shoulder and my right arm. I've got my hand down, so I've done it, I've completed the posture. But you're not getting as much out of it as you could do if you were a bit more aware of that alignment. So the same in this case. So I'm going to bring in this case is my left hand down to the inside of my left leg. So I'm taking it down, and then I'm not quite on the ground. I'm going to bring my right arm round, so it's alongside my head, reaching forwards through the fingertips. So if I was looking at myself in the posture, or if I went back and looked at this videos, I'd want to be looking to have the shoulders stacked above one another, so the right above the left. If they're slightly out, that's fine. I'm aware that I'm on that point where there's a bit about, this isn't any work at all, I don't feel like I'm stretching my body, to that point of resistance where I'm aware that the stretch is occurring, but I'm still holding on to that alignment as best as I can, to overdoing it where the alignment has gone out the window and I'm not really getting any stretch. So that would be, again, so I'm in my Warrior 2, I want to come into my extended side angle pose. I think my objective is getting the fingertips down on the mat, and I'm not really thinking about this right arm, I'm not really thinking about bringing it back above the head, although I'm not too far out there, but I think for me that's right at the edge of, and maybe on a good day I could come into that, but when I come into extended side angle pose, I've got so I'm in my Warrior 2, so in this case my left arm down the inside of the left, I'm not coming all the way down onto the ground, I'm about here, so my fingertips are roughly touching my ankle, and I think that is about right for me at the moment. It might be that in time I can keep this upper body alignment and the fingertips can come down onto the ground. So so that's just a few steps coming into it. There is also a bind we can do with the hands in our extended angle pose. I do occasionally drop it in class. For most people that come to my sessions, it's not something that works. We end up going out all over the place when we're trying to do it. But again, if you were quite flexible in the upper body, the shoulders, these postures don't offer you too much challenge, we can do a bind as well. So I'll show it to you front on and then sideways on. So from our Warrior 2, I'm going to take this is my left arm underneath my left leg. I'm going to take my right hand round from the back. I'm going to bind my fingertips and I'm drawing my top shoulder back. So how that would look. And again, I don't generally do this because I don't really give it justice. I don't have that stretch in the upper body, but doing my best to demonstrate. So from a Warrior 2, so left arm down, take the right hand round, interlacing the fingers, drawing that right shoulder back so chest is sideways on, and I'm only just about able to reach there. So often again, what can happen with that, you can get the interlock of the fingers, but the upper body alignment just totally goes. So again, I'll exaggerate a little bit here. So you could Warrior 2, taking that left hand down, and I'm reaching, and I can get my hands better together there, but as you can see, my upper body's out of alignment, or if I try to bring it back up, I'm only not really doing it much justice. So hopefully that helps to give you a little bit more insight into that extended angle pose. Another thing that you can do to try and keep yourself aware of what your upper body is doing, do yourself a video like what I'm doing now, and you can see how you are with some of the different alignments, or often doing the posture against the wall. So as I'm coming into this, I'll do the bend in the arm, I can feel my shoulder blades on the wall, bringing that arm back, and my right shoulder blade is just about touching, so I know that my chest is sideways on, because it's very easy to become unaware of what your body is doing the more you come into the posture. You're focusing, but you can't necessarily be aware of everything. Hopefully that helps. Give a bit of explanation and some of the different levels that you can come into. If you wanted to comment or message me if you want a little bit more clarification, or if you come to my classes, do stop and ask if you want a bit more clarification on that. But thank you for watching.